going through these corners. We get a tap from behind. We actually get taken out on purpose. The guy just drives through me even though I'm facing the wrong way. Hello everyone, welcome to Ice Karting in Icekart Rucphen. This is in the Netherlands and the only place where you can go ice karting. Now you have seen that intro, there's someone that's gonna take us out, but he's not gonna do it once, he's gonna do it multiple times, but we'll get to that. For now, we just got out of the pit and the karts are still limited. This is my first time ice karting and now we go on full throttle, maximum power. These are the same electric kind of kart that I'm used to at Team Sport Utrecht, but it's very difficult. Driving on ice, you kind of have to drift the kart and I'm gonna get used to it. It's gonna be a very long process. We spin out there and someone pushes in the right direction. They should now stop pushing me because I'm kind of getting spun out again, but we get away. Now this video will be the first 2 heats we do out of 4 and the next video will be another 2 heats that we do after. Now these 2 first heats are gonna be involving that guy that is being very annoying and taking me out on purpose, but we'll get to that. Like I said before, the 3rd and 4th heat that we're gonna do are gonna be very different and a lot of fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to that video, so stay tuned for that next week on the channel. For now, just really trying to get used to it. You have to rotate the kart at the back and then counter steer a little bit. It's very difficult and I'm gonna be very slow at the beginning, but we will be improving rapidly. Now as you can see, there's also quite a lot of people on track, so we're gonna have to be very careful. I don't want to crash into people, especially not the kid I'm overtaking now. He is quite young and I'm gonna be very careful when I'm near him. Now going into this left-hander and then the right-hander, there are 2 hairpins and they are the most difficult 2 corners on track. I'm gonna be struggling with those the most. The other ones are a little bit more high speed and definitely more doable, so a very interesting track. Not that many corners, but definitely interesting how to figure out how to drive around this track. Now the main straight, this is kind of the main straight and it also has the timing for a lap, and our first lap is going to be a 58.6, so that is a decent lap time and under 1 minute, which is definitely a good first lap time ever. The best lap that is set this day was around a 47, I think, but I'm not fully sure, but we're gonna try to get close to that at the end of the day. Now on the left you can see a screen with the session time remaining, but through the left hand we have a lazy spin there, just a little bit too much pressure on the rear tires, not enough grip on the front tires. Now these are spiked tires, meaning that they have more grip than just slick tires, but they do have a very interesting way of handling with the kart. If you go into a corner, you kind of don't need to steer into it, you need to rotate the back but not too much and really slide it through the corner like I'm doing now, basically drifting the kart through the corners as I give a wave to my fiancé who is also here with me on track. We're not gonna see her too much this first 2 heats, but the second part we're definitely gonna see her as we see someone spinning on the straight. They got a bump from behind as they were kind of half spun on the straight there, and that made sure they had to fully rotate that car, so that can happen. We don't know the experience of the people on track and there might be a few incidents that are not on purpose, just a little bit of an accident, and it's gonna happen a few times, but that's okay because it can happen. Now on the steering wheel you can actually see a green light. That's not a boost button like at Team Sport Utrecht, it's a reverse button, so if you're stuck you can just reverse the kart, make sure you get out okay. As we have a little bit of slower people in kart, I want to say traffic, but they're not really traffic, they're just slower, and with this ice karting I can definitely understand, just some corners are quick, some corners you're slow. It's the same with me. We have some people that are quicker than me. We just try to drive around the outside of them as one of them spins, so that's a quick overtake, but we do manage to kind of get past, and now trying to do our own thing again as we set a new personal best, a 54.8, and it's definitely gonna take some figuring out how to get even quicker in these karts. Luckily my fiancé is with me, so in between heats we can just talk about what went well, what doesn't work, and get quicker together. As we see someone that's facing the wrong way, we squeeze down the inside there. They were kind of going on throttle trying to drive away, maybe a good place for them there to use the reverse button, but it happens. It's quite difficult when you're stuck there to know what to do, and now we're trying to go quicker, but we feel it just, if you look at the footage, it just feels so very slow, and it is of course way slower than normal karting, but that also makes it fun as we make our way past someone who has spun out, but we also almost spin out, but just managed to save the kart. Now even though we had to save the kart and it feels quite slow, all the laps feel quite slow in that left or right section. Going onto the straight now and onto the timing line, we do actually improve our lap time. So we're into the 53-second lap times. Now my goal of this day, not this video, but just this day, is going to be to go below a 50-second lap time. I'm not gonna promise it's gonna happen this video, but it's gonna happen this day probably, if we can keep improving like this. Now we're already more than halfway through this heat, because we're gonna do 9 laps this heat in total, and approaching this left right slow section we make a mistake and just, I don't know how to save it, but we just have a lazy spin there. I don't know if you have to go on throttle more, use the brake more. It's really difficult to find out what you have to do exactly, and through the right hander we again have a spin out. So we're gonna make it a pirouette, a 360, and then we're gonna continue on our way, making sure we're not in the way of a quicker kart that's on our inside there. But they also make a mistake and they're gonna spin out right next to me. We just avoid them, and that was a fun pirouette from the both of us. Now that was not a good lap because we spun around, meaning that the lap time is gonna be in the 1 minute 7 seconds, which is not that good, but we are kind of trying to experiment with lines and trying to push a little bit more. Now I will improve by a few seconds more this video, which is gonna be real good. Now this left right is quite difficult because there's a point in the middle that's sticking out, which makes it really hard to see when you have to step out the back of the kart to drift around it. But we are doing better and better, and through this left hander we actually slow down a lot. We don't have enough speed and we have to stay into the corner, and you want to drift through the corner, so that's not the way you should take these corners. But again, still trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. Is still, of course, is the first heat of the day, so we have plenty more time to improve. It unfortunately won't be happening on this lap because of the slow left hairpin and right hairpin and the slow entry I'm having onto the straight. It's gonna be a very slow lap, or not very slow, quicker than last lap at 55.5. So that is a decent lap, but still I want to improve. Now the moment you have been waiting for, the first incident with that guy, the guy who's gonna hit me deliberately, is coming up at the end of this lap. But for now we do have a little bit of traffic in front of us. We're gonna be very careful not to hit anyone. We have to break through the left hander there just to not hit someone in the back, but we do manage to avoid them. And now approaching that left hander, they're actually gonna go very wide, and it's gonna be a very easy overtake. But going on throttle you make a bit of a mistake, someone on the outside, and we actually have a very slow lazy spin there. We make it a 360 and continue on our way. So unfortunately we won't be improving on this lap either, but that is okay. We do have a bad exit though onto the straight, and the guy behind me is going to have a better exit, and we actually hit the wall on the inside there. So even more slowly going onto the straight, and then we see him behind and going into the left hand, the long left, and we get a big hit from behind that definitely felt deliberate. You can see my hands going up, and it's gonna be the first incident. Now at the moment in the kart I was a bit annoyed at what happened, but again, I thought maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's an incident. It's quite difficult to slow down if you're going through these corners, but in the end he did tell me it was deliberate because I was on his racing line, which is something I find a bit weird. But anyway, we're gonna continue on. We're gonna try to put in a better lap, although this heat is almost ending. And then through the left, and he's actually stuck behind someone. Maybe he crashed into someone, tried to spin them out, and they spin in front of him, and we now go through the left hander. We're quite slow, and then he comes in again and just barges us out of the way, keeps on throttle. Again, my hand going up there because that was definitely deliberate. I could tell that he wanted to get through, and he was not gonna stop if there was a car there. So that is incident number 2, and I decided that for the next heat I was gonna keep an eye out if he was doing it even more, because I didn't know, and I see him quite a lot of times just barging people out of the way. And I'm gonna show you some footage from my fiancé at the end of the heat, something that he also did. So it's gonna be even more incidents than just with me. But for now we've seen everything this heat, not this video, just this heat, and we're on our final lap. Now I've been a bit annoyed by what happened, so I'm a bit hot-headed. I need to calm down between heats before I can set more quick laps, and you can see how much I'm drifting, and some people also in front of me, so we might have to overtake them. One of them spins out on the straight, don't know if there was contact there. It looked a bit of a weird spin out, so the other guys on track might also be kind of hitting each other and spinning each other out, but I'm not quite sure. Going now for the inside, trying to make a move. We do slow down enough and we do get side by side there and through the right hander. We're almost in front, but then we spin out or have a half spin there, so we do lose a lot of time, and again we kind of can't get going. Now I see my fiance, she's coming from the right, so I'll wave to her and we're gonna look at it from her perspective because she has a 360 camera. So there we go, just stick behind her, trying to see how we can have a fun race with her. She has a bad exit, so we're side by side, a bit of contact, but that can happen here, and trying to just get in front of her, but I do actually kind of hit the wall there. And now going around the outside there, we do take a little bit too much speed on the slippery stuff, hit the wall and kind of have to stick behind, but we are a little bit quicker than through this straight and through the left or right. We try to catch up, and even though this is the Inlap, we're really having a fun battle, having a drift there, looking real cool. I think it looks real fun to see from a different perspective, see how I look from the outside, and we are catching up through the left hander and then through the left hairpin, taking a very different line from my fiance and kind of catching up, but then having a mistake here on the kind of short little straight there. Going through the right hander, we actually do have a half spin and have to reverse the kart before going into the pit, but for you there won't be a pit because we'll be switching to 2 incidents with the guy that had the incidents with me, the Maniac, I'll probably call him. Someone stuck there on the apex and going in front, and instead of kind of just avoiding them, he at the last second hit their back. Definitely something that he could have avoided, and again later on we're looking at him when he has spun out there, my fiance just in front, and he just dives for the apex even though my fiance is steering in, no way for her to avoid, and he gets spun out there. So that is his antics, he's crashing everyone out, even my fiance and the little kid that was also on track. For now we are joining heat 2, he is still on track with us, so more incidents coming up, but for now fighting with my fiance for position, trying to get some clear air to set some good lap times. But it is very busy of course at the beginning of the stint, everyone close together. The first kart we go around the outside and we're now side by side there on the kart that's on the inside for the next corner, so we're just gonna stick behind and look if there's any move possible. They're very slow on the apex, so we have to wait going on throttle, and we even get a worse exit there, go very wide, have a shallow angle into the left hander, but we do manage to have a decent exit there. And now we're gonna try to set a decent first lap timer now running, and this left hander very quick and definitely getting quicker at it. Really fun corner to take, but now going through that left or right, I don't know, but that Maniac is behind me and just pushes me out of the way again. A big hit and then just keeps driving through me, steering into where I am. He does not care that I'm there, and I'm really annoyed with that, but it's not gonna be the last time we see him. It is the first time this heat, even on my first lap there, so really quickly I'm real annoyed again with what happened. But for now let's try to set a quicker lap on the next lap, and we'll talk about that guy, that Maniac, after we have another incident with him, what happened at the end of this heat and what happened in the end with other people as well. You can see a lot more coming up, 2 more incidents in this heat, kind of 3, but for now we have someone spinning in front of us, goes on throttle immediately, which means we have to avoid him, go to the outside. We do manage to do that, and now try to get a good exit and then go and set a quicker lap time. Now the next lap is actually gonna be the quickest lap of this video, so I'm just gonna let you enjoy it with some music and I'll be back after. So there we go, 51.6, so a good lap time there and improving steadily. The best lap I'm gonna set this video, but the next video we're gonna be improving and trying to get below that 50-second lap time. Now looking in front of me, it's getting quite busy, quite a lot of cars there and quite a lot of people that are a little bit slower. So we're gonna try to get past cleanly and into the big left hairpin there. Someone very slow in front, we slow down, make sure to not hit them instead of what other people are doing on track. And through the right hairpin we actually have someone spinning in front, so we go on the outside, look to the right, and there's quite a big hit there from the car number 9 that is trying to get out there. Didn't quite work, and now we go onto the straight on the inside of the guy with the white helmet there, and we go past and now try to set a quicker lap time. Still a decent lap time there, 53.8, even though we had to overtake quite a few people. Now going through the long left-hander, someone facing the wrong way, going backwards, someone also standing still, so we're avoiding them by going to the left, but he doesn't go as quickly as I thought in kart number 1. We give him a bit of a tap, can happen, not that great from me, but it happened and no one hurt there, so we're just gonna keep on going, approaching that very slow section now on the left, and then going to the hairpin. We do make a mistake, go in too quickly, try to save the kart, I don't know what to do, and there we go, spinning around, immediately going on to reverse the kart, but the guy coming in actually makes a mistake, or one of the guys coming in makes a mistake, almost hits me. We just get out of the way, but that did cost us a little bit of time. And now onto the right hairpin again, very slow, almost a mistake again. We go on throttle here, a very slow exit still, because I have spun onto the straight now, but we do drift there through the final corner and hit the inside a little bit. Look behind, we see that Maniac, and he's gonna steer into the back of me, spinning me out on the straight. Put my hand up, he doesn't slow down, he keeps on throttle and keeps steering into me. Me being really annoyed there, throwing the hand up, because you can't do that, and I'm gonna have a word with him after this heat is what I have decided right now. You can see my lap time also being a fault. I went backwards across the timing line and it didn't register. Now when I got out of the kart, I went to that Maniac and tried to talk with him that I'm not a brake, but he didn't listen and just said it's racing and I should just get out of his way even when I'm on the racing line or in front of him. He just basically told him that it's his right to just barge me out of the way, and that the pros just tap someone if they're in front of him to get out of the way, even though in the races I have done that always results in a penalty, for example the 24-hour or even the 3-hour race at Berghem. So I went to the marshals, showed them the footage, but fortunate for him or unfortunate for us, I don't know, fortunate or unfortunate, this is his last heat, meaning they can't really do anything about it. Now of course I'm gonna show this on the internet, so that helps me fend off a little bit of steam. But when we went back to our stuff to relax for the next heat, he decided to talk to me again, and he really wanted to make a point that he was quicker than me, and now he was a few seconds quicker, and I was really proud of it. Even though if you use others as a brake and just ram into them, of course you can go a lot quicker, you can just steam into a corner, hit someone and then just continue on. So that's not really a fair way to set a good lap time, and it kind of went into an argument. Even my fiancé, who's a very calm person, almost got angry at him. We told him that you shouldn't barge people out of the way and crash deliberately, but again he didn't seem to understand, and he actually is gonna pass me one more time, and he kind of told me that he spared me that time, basically telling me that everything he did was on purpose because he just wanted to hit me. Maybe because I have my own suit, he's really proud that he has beaten someone in their own karting gear, even though it is my first time ice karting. But for now we're just gonna focus on the rest of the heat. We might look behind us a few times to make sure he isn't there, and then just finish this heat, but we're not gonna be very quick because it's just gonna me being very annoyed and not having that much throttle control and control over the kart, because I let my frustration get to me. Now going through the left, right, a few karts in front, we still want to pass cleanly. I'm not a person that wants to deliberately crash into people, so we try to avoid them and even slowing down there if we need to. So through the left, and they're going on the brake quite a bit just to make sure we don't hit someone. But on the outside now through the hairpin, a few people there spinning out, and looking behind me we do see that Maniac again. So he is approaching quite quickly, because if you get spun out and get stuck for a little bit, of course he's gonna set a few more laps than me. Now maybe in his eyes, because he spared me one time, that makes up for everything. In my my eyes it doesn't, but we're not gonna be focusing on that anymore. As we go across the line, we do set a decent lap there, a 53.4, so we are still trying to find lines that work, even though that frustration is very high right now. And in the next video we're actually trying something different. You're not gonna see it or hear it, but I'm gonna try for the first time in my helmet to put some music. I do have a system for that. I've had it for quite a bit, using it for communications during the 24 hours for example, but I have never used it for music because I don't think it would work that well. And for calming down it really worked, but for my races and everything I do feel more focused without having music on, so I'm not gonna use it more often unless I need something to calm me down. But for now we're entering this final timed lap here. A bad exit onto the straight though, so it's not gonna be a great lap, and a bad exit also means that through this left-hander, the long left-hander, we are quite slow, although it is a beautiful drift. But entering the left right here, we actually have a half spin, try to save it, and then we have a spin the other way, not fully spinning out and waiting till some people get past before we can get going. So definitely not going to be the greatest lap at the end of this session, but I'm just glad to be done with it after everything that's happened. I'm just looking forward to having a sit down with my fiance, having a little bit of a rest, and then enjoying the third and fourth heat that we are going to do. Now still overtaking some people on this final lap. I still want to try to do my best, and we go down the inside of two guys on the previous corner, and then through this final hairpin we almost spin out. We kind of have a weird hand position because I was thinking the heat was already done, seeing the timer when we went past there, but it's gonna take a little bit longer, and we're gonna cross the finish line once more, and then through the long left-hander trying to take more speed and actually doing a really beautiful 360. If I had kept it going it would have been even better, but a beautiful spin out. And now we slowly try to see if there's someone there. We can't see anyone and we couldn't get away. I went on throttle, but it was really slippery, so I had to reverse a little bit and then I could go, but I was kind of in the way of two people that were coming through the left, and still it worked out, and now we're on our in lap, guys. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and comment how you thought that guy, that Maniac, did and how you would have dealt with it. And I will see you next week with a lot more improvements to come from this circuit. Bye bye.